Hello, this is Johnny Cycles with CyclesGaming.com here with my final match from my friendly league. We're running John Lukka Surprise. We have some lands, we have some interaction, we have some creatures and a way to refill. We're missing Lukka, but that's okay. Hopefully we can find it. So we'll keep this. Our opponent kept 7 as well. So run out the Ragavan. See what happens next turn, if we get a swing in for 3 or not. We definitely need some lands to make this to execute our combo, but we'll see what happens. If the magic gods smile on us or not. So far we've had some interesting luck. And by interesting I mean missing lands, flooding out with lands, drawing our Emrakul. Having to thought seize ourselves in order to put the Emrakul back in our deck to get it with Lukka. So yeah, it's just been some interesting running with this deck. And I think on one hand I feel like we've just been one draw, Solitude, so we're playing control. Man, I'm so tired of control. 4 and 5 color money paw control. They have answers in the main deck for what we're doing. It makes it a really tough matchup. We have beaten it before, but should we pay the life? We'll probably pay the life just to hold up Lightning Bolt in case they play a Ren 6. What did they pitch? Oh yeah, I should have seen that. I should always check for the companion. And then I would have known. Oh, right. So they're going to play a 5 color or 4 color control deck with Urza Saga lands. Got it. Good for you, opponent. Make it work, and they'll probably end up crushing us. Too much. They'll just have too many ways to interact with what we're doing, it looks like, if they're the typical build. See what we draw. So anyway, we've had some really run really cold in places. That makes me wonder how good the deck is. Obviously, 2 and 3 is what we're averaging. Maybe right around 50% win rate when we're lucky. Definitely has some power and that game over potential out of nowhere. And it's really fun to play. I would like to see it how it does running a little bit hotter than it has. But sometimes that's just the way Magic goes. So anyway, I guess the question is, if we're one draw away from winning, does that mean it's a good deck? Does that mean it's a viable deck? Hitting another land is not exactly what we wanted. So we're going to, I think we're going to play this Bloodstained Mire in case they have a spell pierce or whatever and they want to waste it on our Bitter Reunion. Because this is one of our key cards, Reprieve. Cool. We have double green. We can just go get a black source. Run it back. Pitch this Stomping Ground. Get 2 Hierarchs. Okay, well, we are again a Lukka away. We're going to be able to hopefully run out both Hierarchs next turn. Set us up. Our opponent is taking long delays at certain odd times. Maybe they're streaming or recording or just have a slow connection. So assuming all goes to plan, which is a lot to assume, we'll do Hierarch, next turn Lukka, Hasty Emrakul. However, our opponent will surely have something to say. Solitude is an answer to Emrakul. They are probably playing Teferi, which is an answer, so one reason to make sure we have haste when we cast, or when we try to go for the Emrakul. Oh, I don't feel like taking a really long time here. I'm on my last match. I'm 1 and 4. not really digging the slow play for whatever reason. So we'll run out the Noble Hierarch. We'll run out the Ignoble Hierarch. And we will go to combat. You want to make your car instruct a block opponent. So what we will do is with that on the stack, we'll lightning bolt the first construct. And we'll fatal push the second. Maybe that'll draw out a counterspell, and then we'll hit the Lukka right on time. Oh, okay. This is different, at least, than the 5-color or 4-color stuff. Codex Shredder. And the One Ring. Well, one thing we've learned about Emrakul is the One Ring does not stop annihilation. But it does help them find a solitude. All right, Lukka, one-time deck. Do me right. One time, Lukka off the top. One time, Hasty Emrakul on turn 5 while our opponent's tapped out. This is why when you have a Lukka in your opening hand, you almost always want to keep, because it's just 4 cards. And there are only 4 of them in the deck, I mean. So we're left drawing out of 47 cards. We have 4 copies. Will we get there? Are they going to mill us? Let's see. The slow decisions. There are a lot of reasons. I know with my other computer, my wife's computer, it was definitely, we just whiff. And we whiff. Boo and hiss. My wife's computer, it was definitely a slower connection. I never really understood why it was so slow, but it would just take 30 seconds sometimes between clicks. And I was always behind on time. And now I'm just behind on time for talking. All right, well, we missed a good window there and we forgot that we can't do damage anyway. So we're just sending a message with the Hierarch. Take that. Oh, man. And then we're going to pass the turn because we got nothing else going on. So that was our window. And again, it's only 4 cards in the deck, so 4 copies. It's going to be, the odds are not in our favor to draw it. That's when you're running hot. Now, our Gruul deck had ways of digging more reliably, and it is possible that we want to just go Jund for the black interaction of Fatal Push and Thoughtseize, but keep our ways of digging, take out the Karn, and keep our ways of finding Lukka, because that is one of our best ways of winning. But unfortunately, being all in on the combo as we're seeing here, you're really left, even when you get the Lukka and you resolve it, it doesn't always win you the game. In fact, it frequently does not win you the game. All right, here we go. Big Noble Hierarch. Noble Hierarch, try again. This time I feel like you're going to get there. This time you're going to do the damage. I'm sure of it. Have faith, little Hierarch. I mean, 3-4 is not little. It's a 5-turn clock. Totally legit in Modern. When I guess you're going to be drawing all the call-out cards in the world, does it even really matter? And no, the answer is it does not. Might as well ley line binding that. We'll save that fetch land for our Fatal Push. So not only will this be a game we probably lose, but it's going to be a game we lose slowly, I imagine. Sure. Return the One Ring to their hand. Makes sense. Now we still would like to draw the Lukka. Our opponent has 9 cards in hand. So even with the Lukka, there's bound to be plenty of answers. Reprieve, we've seen already. And instead we just draw land. Well, we'll attack the Teferi. They let it go for fear of what we have next. And we'll pass the turn because we have nothing next. Yeah, I mean, this is not, it's not a fun matchup. It's not a good matchup. Our opponent's playing at least a kind of a brew of their own. Prismatic ending, okay. Slowly chipping away at our, and the One Ring's back, of course, to refill their hand. Yep. And we're at, we really want to hit a Lukka here. And even if we hit the Lukka, it's not even well, they're not dead, but annihilating their board is still not even that much. Lukka. Oh, good. We might want to just save our Thoughtseize because we know we might draw an Emrakul. Given our luck, we probably will. Oh wait, we can't even do that, can we? Because of the One Ring. All right, well, the One Ring gets us again, folks. This time we want to attack at least. Yeah, I mean, we've had opportunities where their shields are down, where we could resolve a Lukka probably, although I'm sure they have Force of Negation. We haven't seen it yet, but they probably are playing it. This is Bant, where we just haven't drawn it. And again, we don't play as many ways to dig as we have in other versions. Definitely not getting unlucky, and we're seeing the drawback of this type of strategy where and even with Karn, we are not even seeing a Karn. We're not seeing something, our second alternative strategy. Sacrifice land, the target player shuffles. Okay, so now they are a painful control. There's our Karn. They're going to have us mill. There's a lightning bolt. Will they make us mill? They will. And there's another Karn. Are they going to make us shuffle? So yeah, not only is this like a really hard matchup, it's also just a really painful matchup to play. All right, so they have the Reprieve. They have 2 Solitudes though, and they have a Subtlety that they can cast, and we will scoop it up. All right. Well, that was painful, but I'm not going to sit through it, not for anyone's sake. What do we want to do against what looks to be a 3-color money pile control? I think we just run it back. I mean, that's the one thing about another drawback of Karn is you have these sideboard cards that you want to tutor up. With Karn, you only have one of them, so bringing them into your 60 doesn't make a lot of sense. And we don't even have anything that great. Pithing Needle is our best tutorable target, and then Haywire Might second for the One Ring. We just hope to get around there, be faster, get around there. Counter. I mean, we had our moments. They had the Solitudes, it looked like, to be able to answer our Emrakul anyway. So, but we had our windows of opportunity, and we did not draw what we needed to. Like I said, we have ways to dig, right? We have Footfall Crater for a single cycle, but this Bitter Union digging 2 cards deep is our way of trying to find our combo. And so far, these past 2 matches, we have not been very lucky finding our combo. Or slow decisions, or slow clicking, I don't even know. All right, well, 2 Thoughtseizes in a Hierarch. Fatal Push is okay. I mean, whatever. At this point, we have no red source. After 2 Thought Seizes in a Karn. I'm not even sure what to do, to be honest. I mean, Thought Season to Thought Season to what? Alright, well, we'll find out what it is. So, they're beginning with 7. Let's see what horror we're up against. Supreme Verdict they bring in, I assume, because either they saw the Emrakul or they... So I think we'll take the Lorien Revealed and try to keep them off their mana. If we didn't have the second Thought Seize, we might have played that. We probably would have taken something else like the Supreme Verdict or the Subtlety, but this turns off their Subtlety. There is... I could use a red source. That is not a red source. Alright, so we know that they have a Subtlety and a Supreme Verdict. This Reprieve could come back and bite us, as could the Subtlety. So I think we're going to go with Supreme Verdict here. So now we're left really hoping to hit fetch land. So if we take the Reprieve, it keeps them from drawing a card. They drew a land, so that plan didn't work very well. It would allow us to make them pitch the Subtlety or the Supreme Verdict for Subtlety if we draw into a land for the Supreme Verdict. I don't know if I said that right, to be honest, but all right, let me try again. If we draw a land and we play Karn the Great Creator, it will force our opponent to pitch their Supreme Verdict to cast Subtlety. We can always put the Karn right back on top. Draw it again. It's effectively the same as a Reprieve, except it's instead of them putting it in our hand and making us wait another turn and then drawing a card, they are 2 for 1 in themselves while we're still going to have a chance to play the Karn. So I think that's why I took the Reprieve there. So we really, Magic Gods, one time, I keep saying one time like it's never happened, but give us a fetch land. Or that works as well. Alright, just how we drew it up. Let's see what our opponent, if they drew an actual counter spell. Hopefully this will get them to play just how we, oh, they didn't even bother. So they must be sniffing out something themselves. Maybe they figure whatever we get off of the Karn, they can destroy. So we could go for Pithy Needle. Since we're ahead on board, we're going to go ahead and take Liquid Metal Coating and start attacking their mana. No, they have the Leyline Binding. All right, fair enough. They drew well. That's why they didn't want to. That's why our plan didn't come to action. Well, good for you, opponent. Way to draw that Leyline Binding on time. We hit a land on time, and you drew a Leyline Binding on time. So now, you know, we could still hold on to this. The Fatal Push is not looking all that great, to be honest. It's good against certain things, but I think what we're going to do is pitch this Fatal Push to the Bitter Reunion. And we get rewarded because there's our Karn. So now we kept the Liquid Metal Coating and we drew the Karn. So we can still attack their mana. And we're still setting ourselves up for, we have 2 parts of the combo. We're missing the Lukka, and so far we've been really bad at drawing it, and they're missing their land, so now we definitely are going to go the Karn route. I mean, they have the subtlety, but they're still going to have to pitch. The Supreme Verdict to get it unless they do a counterspell. Yep, there goes subtlety. Put it on top. Oh, they're going to mill with the Karn. Yep. That's a nice little combo for them. So the subtlety, what did they pitch? I don't know. Subtlety pitching subtlety. All right, so opponents managed to draw pretty well as far as we can't get that Supreme Verdict out of their hand. They haven't hit lands though. Now they're going to go for the liquid metal coating, even though they made us mill our Karn. All right, well, this is it. Lukka, hasty Emrakul, please. One time. I'm going to have to quit saying one time. I say it too much. And this is why, because it never happens. Just a land. Our opponent would love a land right now, and we cannot do anything but draw. I mean, we drew the Karn, and we drew another Karn. But man, we are just not running hot. I mean, the Karns, I will say, they answered our Karns, they answered our first round of threats. This would be a chance, another chance for the Emrakul, even though they have the Supreme Verdict in hand to answer it once they kill it. We really needed the Lukka. Instead, we're flooding out in the worst possible way. Well, I mean, this is Magic. This is variance. It feels very frustrating, though, to have these windows of opportunity and not have, and just whiff. I mean, we could have hit a Ragamon there. Could have hit a Bitter Reunion. We could have hit a Karn. But instead, we just hit a land. Sure. They have counter magic up, or mana for counter magic now. So we managed to shuffle into a land again. So we have 2 fetches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll keep the land in case we draw another Bitter Reunion. Yeah, our opponent must just think that we are a really bad Jund deck. That's what I would think. I'm not sure what. We have not done anything other than play Ramp and Karn and some random combo pieces. Alright, so I assume they'll get a Pithy Needle. Maybe they'll get a piece of their lock combo here. The Seju. Okay. Also a land. But we can get the Karn back with it. So I imagine they're going to mill us, yeah. Holy cow, that's 2 more lands off the top. Man, we are just really, really struggling. Really struggling here. We cannot draw any action, and now our opponent knows what we're drawing, and if it's action, they can. I mean, it's unbelievable, folks, like unbelievable. So we're drawing. I mean, we fetched, but we shuffled into nothing but lands and a mana dork. So we went. I think we kept a 2-land hand this game. It was opening 7, and we ended the game with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lands, plus 1 coming off the top, plus 1 mill. That's 11 lands. That is an insane amount of lands. Anyway, that's how it is. This is Johnny Cycles with cyclesgaming.com. I'll catch you on the next one. This has been another edition of Keeping Modern Tanky. I'm Johnny Cycles with cyclesgaming.com. Check out my website where you can read articles on my commander decks, my various modern brews, and my science fiction fantasy novel that I'm publishing serially every month. cyclesgaming.com. Be sure to click that like button and subscribe button on YouTube, and I'll see you on the next one.